In the annals of the unexplained, nestled between historical record and folklore, lays the baffling tale of the Green Children of Banjos. This peculiar event is said to have occurred in the 12th century, during the chaotic and strife-filled reign of King Stephen of England. The setting was the humble village of Banjos, a small, isolated community in the heart of the Suffolk countryside. Life in Banjos was dictated by the seasons and the toil of the land, a predictable rhythm of planting and harvest. The village itself was named for the ancient wolf pits that dotted the nearby forest, deep trenches dug to trap the predatory beasts that threatened their livestock. It was near one such pit, on a sweltering day at the height of the harvest, that the familiar rhythm of village life was irrevocably shattered. A group of reapers, their brows slick with sweat, heard a strange, unintelligible chattering coming from the direction of the old pit. Cautiously, they set down their scythes and approached the source of the bewildering sounds. There, huddled at the edge of the pit, were two children, a boy and a girl, whose appearance struck the villagers with a profound sense of awe and fear. Their clothes were woven from a material none of the villagers recognized, with a strange, seamless construction and an unfamiliar texture. But it was not their attire that caused the reapers to gasp and take a step back in disbelief. The skin of the two children was, impossibly, the vibrant, living green of new spring leaves. It was not a dye or a paint, but their flesh itself, imbued with a hue that seemed to belong to the world of plants, not people. The children were weeping, their strange, musical language a torrent of sorrow and confusion. Overcoming their fear with a sense of pity, the villagers led the mysterious pair away from the pit and towards the village. They were brought to the home of Sir Richard de Cunn, a local landowner of some importance and repute. Inside the relative comfort of the manor, the children were offered food, a gesture of hospitality to the strange visitors. Yet, they refused all that was placed before them, turning away from the bread, meat, and ale with expressions of disgust. For several days, they starved, growing weaker, seemingly unable to recognize the villagers' offerings as sustenance. The household staff watched with a mixture of pity and frustration, unsure how to care for these perplexing foundlings. Then, one day, a servant brought in a bundle of freshly harvested broad beans from the garden. Upon seeing the beans, the children's eyes lit up with recognition, and they gestured frantically towards them. However, instead of opening the pods where the beans resided, they tore open the stalks, weeping when they found them hollow. Taking pity, Sir Richard showed them how to shell the pods, revealing the plump beans inside. The children fell upon the raw beans and devoured them with a desperate hunger, their first meal in this strange new world. For a long time, this was all they would eat, subsisting entirely on a diet of uncooked beans. The boy, who was younger and appeared more fragile than his sister, began to sicken. His green pallor seemed to deepen, and his energy waned day by day, despite the food he now ate. He was baptized by the village priest in a solemn ceremony, a soul claimed for God before it departed. Shortly after the baptism, the boy succumbed to his melancholy and weakness, and died. His passing left the girl utterly alone, the last of her kind in a world that was not her own. The girl, however, proved to be more resilient and adaptable than her brother. Slowly, cautiously, she began to sample other foods, starting with bread and then moving on to cooked meals. As her diet diversified, a remarkable transformation began to take place. The startling green of her skin gradually faded, replaced by the pale complexion of a normal human. She was given the name Agnes and continued to live in Sir Richard's household, working as a servant. Over the years, she learned to speak English, her own strange, melodic language fading from memory. Once she had mastered the language, the villagers and Sir Richard were finally able to question her about her mysterious origins. Her tale was even more incredible than the circumstances of her arrival. She claimed they came from a place called St. Martin's Land, a subterranean world bathed in perpetual twilight. In her world, the sun never rose, and everything was cast in a soft, green-tinged gloom. All the inhabitants of St. Martin's Land, she explained, had green skin just as she and her brother had. She could not explain how it was different from our world, only that it was. She spoke of a luminous land that could be seen across a great river from her home. One day, she and her brother were tending their father's flock in the fields. They were drawn by a strange and compelling sound, a loud chiming like bells. Following the enchanting noise, they wandered into a cave or cavern. They walked for a long time in darkness, the sound of the bells leading them onward. Suddenly, they emerged from the passage and were blinded by the brilliant, painful light of the sun. The intensity of the light and the heat of the air caused them to fall to the ground, senseless. It was there, disoriented and terrified, that the reapers of Banjos had found them. Agnes lived out the rest of her days in Suffolk, eventually marrying a man from a nearby town. Her story, recorded by two separate chroniclers of the time, William of Newburgh and Ralph of Coggeshall, became a permanent fixture of local legend. But the central question remained, a mystery that has endured for nearly 9 centuries. Who were the Green Children? One of the most grounded theories suggests a more mundane, though still tragic, explanation. This theory posits that the children were not from another world, but were Flemish immigrants. At the time, there was significant persecution of Flemish settlers in England, and the children may have been orphaned or have fled an attack. Lost and disoriented, they could have wandered into the Thetford forest, a vast and dense woodland. Their strange language would have been Flemish, a tongue unfamiliar to the Suffolk villagers. The green color of their skin could be explained by a severe form of anemia known as chlorosis, or the green sickness. This condition, resulting from extreme malnutrition, can impart a noticeable green tint to the skin. Their diet of only beans could be a misremembered detail. Perhaps they were simply starving and ate the first edible thing they recognized. The story of a subterranean world could have been a child's confused allegory for being lost in the dark, disorienting minds and passages of the forest. This rational explanation ties up many of the story's loose ends in a neat, historical bow. However, it fails to satisfy those who see something more profound in the tale. Why would they not recognize other foods if they were from a neighboring country? And what of the seamless, unfamiliar clothing they wore? These lingering questions open the door to more speculative and fantastical theories. One of the most enduring theories is that the children were not from Earth at all. This theory casts them as extraterrestrials, accidentally transported to our world. Their green skin could be their species' natural biology, adapted to a different kind of sun. The subterranean world they described might have been the interior of their spaceship or their home planet. The loud bells could have been the sound of a teleportation device or a dimensional rift malfunctioning. Their inability to eat human food makes sense if their biology was fundamentally different. The beans might have been the closest chemical analog to a food source from their home world. In this light, the story transforms from a local curiosity into a potential first contact event. The death of the boy becomes the tragedy of an organism unable to survive in a foreign biosphere. The girl's survival and transformation is a testament to a remarkable, albeit forced, adaptation. Another related theory suggests the children were not from the stars, but from a different dimension. They could have been inhabitants of a fairy world, a realm that coexists with our own but is usually invisible. In folklore, such realms often touch our world at liminal places, like the wolf pits of Banjos. The bells they followed could have been the enchanting music of the Fae, leading them astray. Their green skin is a common attribute of fairies, sprites, and other woodland spirits in European folklore. This theory places the story firmly in the realm of the supernatural, a true fairy tale made real. It suggests that for a brief moment, the veil between worlds was lifted, and two of its inhabitants stumbled through. The story of the Green Children has been retold and reinterpreted countless times over the centuries. It inspired a much later, and likely fictional, story set in the Spanish village of Banjos in 1887. This later version borrowed heavily from the original medieval account, demonstrating its enduring power. The tale has been the subject of poems, novels, and philosophical speculation. Each generation projects its own hopes and fears onto the blank slate of the children's origin. Are they a symbol of the stranger, the immigrant, feared and misunderstood? Are they a religious allegory, their baptism and the boy's death a story of salvation and loss? Or are they a literal account of an impossible event, a crack in the mundane reality of the 12th century? Chroniclers who recorded the story, William and Ralph, were respected historians, not writers of fiction. They presented the tale as a factual, albeit perplexing, event that occurred in their time. They did not offer a definitive explanation, leaving the mystery for future generations to ponder. The fact that Agnes reportedly lived a long life and integrated into the community adds a layer of credibility. She was a living, breathing person, a testament to the strange events of her childhood. Modern science can offer plausible explanations, yet they feel incomplete. The chlorosis theory doesn't fully account for the detailed description of another world. Was it merely a child's fever dream, or a genuine memory of home? The alien hypothesis, while exciting, lacks any shred of physical evidence. No strange materials, no alien alloys, no unidentifiable pollens were ever recorded. We are left only with the story itself, passed down through the centuries. A story that sits uncomfortably between what we know and what we can imagine. The Green Children of Banjos represent a fundamental question about our perception of reality. Do we accept the mundane explanation and dismiss the fantastical elements as embellishment? Or do we allow for the possibility that the world is far stranger than our histories admit? Perhaps the children were a glitch in the matrix of medieval life. A brief, inexplicable intrusion of the impossible into the possible. Their story serves as a reminder that not all questions have answers. Some mysteries are meant to endure, to fuel our imagination and challenge our certainty. The village of Banjos has long since faded into the soil of Suffolk. The wolf pits have been filled in. The manor of Sir Richard de Cannes is gone. But the story of the two small, green children who appeared from nowhere remains. A whisper of the weird on the winds of time, a folk tale that might just be true. Their tale challenges the very boundary between history and myth. It forces us to consider that the past may hold wonders we can barely comprehend. The Green Children are a paradox, both historical figures and mythical beings. Their origin remains the ultimate enigma, a puzzle with missing pieces. Were they lost children suffering from a rare medical condition? Were they visitors from another planet, stranded on our own? Were they denizens of a hidden fairy realm, lost in the human world? The truth is likely lost to the mists of time, forever beyond our grasp. All we can do is retell the story and wonder. We wonder about the world of perpetual twilight Agnes described. We wonder about the brother who faded away, a visitor who could not endure our world. We wonder about Agnes, the survivor, who carried the memory of another life within her. Did she ever look at a spring leaf and feel pang of homesickness? Did she ever hear the sound of church bells and remember the sound that led her here? Did she ever tell her own children the story of where she truly came from? The story of the Green Children is more than just a historical curiosity. It is a timeless mystery that speaks to our deepest sense of wonder. It is a testament to the idea that reality is not always as it seems. And it is a story that will continue to be told as long as there are mysteries left to solve. The children's arrival was a rupture in the fabric of the 12th century. Their presence defied all known laws of nature and geography at the time. Imagine the cognitive dissonance for the villagers of Banjos. They lived in a world ordered by God and King, a world they thought they understood. Then, from a pit in the ground, emerged proof that their understanding was incomplete. The children were a living, breathing enigma. Their diet of beans was a peculiar detail that grounded the story in a strange reality. It was a tangible, verifiable fact in a sea of impossibilities. The fading of Agnes's green skin is perhaps the most curious detail of all. If it was her natural color, why did it change? If it was due to illness, how did she describe a world where everyone shared her affliction? This contradiction lies at the heart of the mystery's endurance. It allows both the rational and the fantastical explanations to coexist. The story is a perfect intellectual and philosophical puzzle. It has no easy solution, no simple answer to grasp. The tale of the Green Children is a mirror. It reflects back whatever belief system we hold most dear. The faithful. It is a story of God's mysterious ways. For the rationalist, it is a case study in social history and malnutrition. For the dreamer, it is proof that other worlds are real and within reach. Ultimately, the children themselves are silent witnesses, their true story lost with them. The boy took his secrets to an early grave in the consecrated ground of Banjos. Agnes took hers to a lone life, perhaps burying them under layers of normalcy and time. And so, the mystery of the Green Children of Banjos endures, as green and vibrant as the day they first appeared.